Hi there, I'm Jeremy Chavis with Faribault Vacuum and Sewing Center and Chavis Vacuum and Sewing Center. Today I'm going to show you how to get started on your new Janome sewing machine. And right here I've got the Janome 9450. So the most common problems we see are the most basic of things with the machine. Getting started, threading the bobbin, winding the bobbin, threading the machine. Things that normally you would think as basic, but there's little steps that are really important, especially if you don't sew often, you lose touch of those few things. So I'm going to get started with just winding a bobbin. We've got a good dual duty all-purpose thread. I've got my spool cap on there. Follow the numbers and arrows. Up here, 1, the dotted line around, and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to use my left finger to hold the thread and my right finger to pull it through until I feel a slight click. I'm going to thread the bobbin from inside to out. My shears here. Pull that over, click my bobbin winder over to the right. My start stop button, and I'm going to start out a little slower. Get a couple of good rows on there, and then stop and trim the top tail down to the hole. And if I've got everything set up right, I should be able to turn the speed up. Okay, so I've wound my first bobbin on my new machine. Pull that out. Release the bobbin cover from my needle plate. Drop the bobbin in. And make sure I find the little groove there with the arrow to thread the bobbin. Now I want to be sure the bobbin spins counterclockwise. And if I pull on the thread, it should just freewheel off of there. Now when I pull it in my groove, this being a quick set bobbin with the hook here, you go under that and around 1 and 2, and that trims my tail. But before I hit number 2 to trim the tail, I'm going to pull on that and it should feel slightly more tension than just freewheeling off. So now for threading the machine. I like to use my left hand and my right hand, kind of like doing dental floss, or flossing your teeth. That helps to snap it into all the moving mechanisms, like your tension discs and your take-up lever. So up and around and down is 1 and 2, and then back up is 3. And then the take-up lever shows from right to left, up and around. But as you see here, I can open up my door and I can actually go from left to right and click it in. That's going to prevent the thread from sliding out of the take-up lever while I'm sewing or pulling back out and bunching up or jamming up. Got my daylight here. And then there's a hook on top of the needle bar. So now I'm going to use my number 7 needle threader. And again, there's a little clip in here, right behind the number 7 needle threader. Now I'm all the way to the left on the hook on the top of my needle bar. Up through the clip and over the number 7 arrow. Back behind my thread cutter on my left hand side. Presser foot down. first try. Now a good idea would be to lock the screen so that you don't accidentally bump your start-stop button when you're trying to pull the thread out from behind the needle. You can do this by raising the presser foot or plugging in the foot control. That will deactivate the start-stop button and your hand sewing controls. Raise the presser foot. Now, with this type of bobbin system, you don't have to pick up your bottom thread, but I prefer to with the needle up-down button or by turning the hand wheel towards yourself. And there we have it. Put my top thread back underneath my presser foot. Now that we've picked up our bottom thread, we put the material under, put the presser foot down on top of our top thread, and hit the start-stop button. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. And then I can gradually speed it up as I feel comfortable. Now to lock the stitch, I can either hit the reverse and back it up, or lock it manually. And then I'm going to hit the scissors, which cuts the thread and raises my presser foot. And there you have it, the Janome 9450.